Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I would like to call to order the meeting of the Urbana Arts and Culture Commission at September 13th, 2022 at 4:30 p.m. And welcome to some of our presenters today. We're excited to hear about your grant proposals. And I believe the first piece is the interim plan and hiring for the arts. And maybe we need to do our attendance.
Yes.
So-
Would you like to ask everyone to introduce themselves?
Yeah, that'd be great. Commissioner Fuller.
Hello, my name is Lori Fuller, and I am from Champaign-Urbana area, and I've been on the commission for a little over a year.
Hello, my name is Alicia Rodriguez, and I've been on the commission just for a few months now.
Hello, my name is Sarah Buckman, and I've been on the commission since December.
Hello, everyone. My name is Commissioner Bianca Bailey, and I'm new to the board as of July of the summer. So glad to be here. Thank you.
Welcome.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mark Anthony Macon, and I have no concept of time, so I don't know how long I've been on the board, but not for very long.
Thank you, everyone. And I believe that Barbara Headland is not able to make it today, but let us know. And I believe, is that?
Any additions to the agenda?
Any additions to the agenda today? I don't believe so. And then any public input, we'll have a special portion for your presentations, but I don't believe.
And we do have a quorum, so we can vote on the minutes.
Okay, so has everybody reviewed the minutes? I think, were there any edits that you would like to see for the August minutes?
The only thing that I see is that I was present at the meeting. I'm not sure if there's anybody else I might be missing.
Okay, Alicia Rodriguez.
I was also
Yes.
present.
And
Yes.
Lori Fuller present. So need to be added to the members present.
Bianca, your first name wasn't on there, so we'll add that too.
Okay, Bianca Bailey. Any other additions to the agenda? Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Second.
Motion, and then is there a second?
I'll second.
Second? Okay, minutes are approved. All in favor to approve the minutes?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay,
We'll get better.
thank you.
I'm gonna do kind of a staff update at the end, so we can go right into reports.
Okay. If we could please invite Robin Kierton of C4A to present the 2022 final report. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me. This one's right. You can hear me, right? Or, okay.
The little button.
The little button?
There you go.
There we go. How's that?
Perfect.
Good. Yeah, I'm here on behalf of Community Center for the Arts to report on our Fiddle Weekend that we held in June. And just a little background, the weekend was conceived in two streams. One is that I was with my colleague, Jessie Stark, who's another violin/fiddle teacher, and we were just kind of fantasizing about doing a little contest for our students. And then the plan got big. We decided to go ahead, instead of having us do it like as individuals, to go through C4A and do it as the organization. And thanks to the funding from the Urbana Arts and Culture, we were able to hire maybe the best fiddler in Illinois to come and be our featured fiddler. And He and his spouse came for the whole weekend and, shared their talents with us, but we also have a number of outstanding local musicians who also participated. We went around recruiting in the schools, and we had local bands performing and a bunch of workshops for kids and community adults. And so there was performances, workshops, presentational, participational, all in one pocket. And we had even some out-of-town guests come, even on this first time through, because we put the word out. And we're hoping that this could turn into an annual event that would be a draw for, around the state or region. And better than me blabbing, I made a little video presentation for you, so I'd like to show that now. Let's see, is this still connected? Sounds like that's still connected. Okay, let's give it a try. the end. Yeah, if y'all have any questions or anything, I'd be happy to answer those. It was really great to pull the different people together and to see the young and like actual 10-year-old kids sitting next to 70-year-old community players jamming out and
I absolutely love that, seeing the little ones learn from experienced fiddlers and seeing older fiddlers learn something new too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's great.
What would you hope you would do different next year?
Well, we've been talking about that. We thought about, there's a couple of topics that we're exploring. One would be the relationship between fiddle and banjo, because that's kind of like the core of old-time music. We might also explore, there's so many different genres of fiddling. We could look at something, we talk about doing something more Irish specific or something. That's not quite as accessible to beginning players. We'd like to keep it to be something that, it can have really broad participation. We talked about, I'm drawing a blank, but we've been talking about it, just to have something kind of different feature. We thought we loved having Charlie Walden as our featured fiddler. He's, we go, my husband and I go usually to this 10-day-long camp out on a mountain in West Virginia, and there are like 3,000 musicians that camp out. And often we camp near Charlie, and I never get sick of hearing him play. He knows so many tunes, he can swim in like all these different genres, and he's very personable. So he would be a candidate to have back again, and he's just got a really good network. It was his network combined with ours that pulled in the out-of-town people. But we also, there's a lot of other people we know also from the same place. Another amazing fiddle and banjo player who has come to present here before, and we thought about inviting him and his partner, and we just have, we would like to do it again, and we know you need to keep it changed up a little bit to keep it fresh, make people want to come back, but also keep the fundamental concept intact. So.
Sounds like a great weekend, and I really like that it was in different venues.
Uh-huh.
Because I always think of C4A as being like a downtown Urbana thing. So it's really nice to see that you went over to Meadowbrook Park and
Yeah.
and things like that. Were really nice.
Meadowbrook Park was great. We had originally wanted to do it at Crystal Lake Pavilion because it's more centrally located, and we wanted it to be accessible to everybody who wanted to go. But they, as you might know, had like all kinds of construction stuff going on, and Janet Susby recommended that we try a different park. And Meadowbrook was great, and then when we researched it, we found out that it's on a bus line, so people could get there, and even if they didn't have a car to get there on. So, and it was very easy collaborating with the Park District, and the Rose Bowl was great. With they provided the venue and the PA system for the Saturday night concert, and just kind of made their tent available for us. They kind of folded us into their program and vice versa, so that was nice.
Do you know if any of the kids that were introduced to the fiddle through this have continued to study playing the fiddle?
I think so. I have, there's a couple of kids who, there were some who, I know a lot of the fiddle playing kids here. There were some I don't know who came, or I didn't know before who came. And there were some who just came and tried it out. And I think they're going to continue. We're trying to recruit them into our kids' fiddle band, the Bodacious String Band, and one of them's going, yeah, I want to do it. I've got a lot going on, but I want to do it. And so probably, yeah. And definitely there were some adults who maybe studied classically, but never had done any kind of playing by ear or anything like that, and some of them definitely took to it, so.
I love the different age groups, like you said, and I feel like it would be really pivotal for kids to be playing with adults or experts in that particular instrument. So I think that was a great idea. I loved the anti-contest concept too, and how you can get feedback from professionals
Yeah.
and be able to play, and so I thought that was really clever. And yeah,
That kind of came from a personal chip, because I've played in contests where the judges pick winners, but they just give you a score, and there's no feedback at all, like, what did you like, what didn't you like? And so when I talked to the 3 people who wound up being judges, they were all very willing to give specific feedback. And the kids really liked that. And actually, there were a couple of adults who played as well, and they appreciated it. So.
Any other feedback or questions for Robin? Seems like a very successful first.
It was great, yeah. Thank you. Do I need to eject this? Seems like I probably do. Okay. Yeah, I don't see anything. Ah. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next, we'd love to invite William Villafore up for your presentation.
Let's see if I can. Awesome. So I guess while this is loading up, thank you for the City of Urbana and the Arts and Culture Program for having us and for helping sponsor our event. Thanks, Robin, for a really amazing and endearing community event too. Thank you for your technical support. No problem.
We all help each other.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, and is your mic on?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. It sounds on.
Right.
but-
Just push that. Yep, there you go.
Hello.
Okay.
Oh, that is better. And so, yeah, my name is William Villaflor. I've been an English teacher at Urbana High School for the past 2 years. Now I'm a Master's of Social Work student at the U of I, hoping to go back into the schools as a school social worker. And so a lot of the stuff that I'll be talking about in this presentation is a lot of the staff that I mentioned are now removed, but a very integral part of the Urbana Mixed Arts Student Showcase. If you were around last year, I know a lot of us are new to the commission, or at least new to the seats. This is our second iteration of UMass. Last year, we had also applied for an Arts in the School grant and was awarded one to throw on our first annual Urbana Mixed Arts Student Showcase. It was an idea that was birthed through former student Maxwell Pochask, who's now at Boston University, and myself. We had founded the Film and Media Arts Club at the school. And this year, we wanted to maintain some of the integral parts of both our organization and UMass in general. And the main heart of this was that it's entirely student-led, both from Honora Hoey, who was our student leader throughout the whole thing. She has just graduated Urbana High School this past year. She was involved from everything from co-writing the grant to marketing materials to reaching out to artists within different schools and coordinating scheduled times for them to present their works at our event. And so UMass in its entirety, from planning to actual implementation, is all student-led. And just like last year, we hosted it at the Urbana-Champaign Independent Media Center. It was Miriam and DJ BJ Clark from the IMC were really amazing, and they've been a part of student planning meetings even prior in the summers and in the beginning of the fall semesters. And the IMC in general is a really accessible space, as it's on the downtown Urbana Transit Center line. And so we wanted to continue working with them. And just like last year as well, we had an art gallery with various mixed arts, and mixed mediums. We had a film screening and a live concert series that we'll kind of go a little bit more in depth into. As much as it was student-led, we had tried a lot to think about how we wanted to revise and change UMass this time around, while also keeping that integrity intact. And so we played around with ideas in our planning sessions of maybe revolving UMass around a theme. And so we threw out ideas such as reaction or resistance. And ultimately, we decided to keep it open. UMass, the way that we accept and I guess curate the works that we showcase is that as long as you are a student within Champaign-Urbana and as long as you are under 19 years old, if you are proud of your work that you create, you are allowed to showcase it in our event. And so we try to keep it as open and accessible as possible. And what results is maybe not a particular theme, but a kind of a hodgepodge patchwork quilt of student artistry. And so you'll jump from a classical pianist to a rapper to a French horn player, and it's you end up getting something really beautiful and kind of messy, but very representative of the artistry that students create. And so that was something that we were particularly proud of. We had an art gallery that was open for the entirety of the day, and it held stuff like charcoal paintings to acrylic paints to mixed mediums. Something that we were particularly proud of with this iteration was that we tried to encourage different types of artwork. And so last year's we only had one sculpture being showcased, and this year we had about 15 to 20. And so some of them are pictured up there in the top left corner. And all of the specific individual pictures can be found on our online portal in the digital media section. But this was just a few selections of. We had, I believe, about 17 students represented within 5 different schools for the visual arts in this showcase, and that was up and open for the public throughout the day. We also had a film screening last year. It was just films, but this year we tried to open it up to a live dance series as well. And so we had, I believe off the top of my head, that's on the next slide, I think like 6 films, but also 3 dancers performed. Last year we had one hip hop dancer who really wanted to perform, and so we took that feedback to heart and wanted to create an intentional space this year for dancers to be able to perform. So we had traditional Irish jig, we had contemporary ballet and hip hop dancing this time around. And with regard to the films, they were everything from individual student projects to projects they made with their peers in club and organization settings, and that was really amazing to see. Maxwell Pochask, the student founder from the first year, had also came back from Boston on his time off and showed one of his college films too, and so that was really, really cool to see. For our end of the evening music series, we had 8 scheduled performances from students across town. But also, we wanted to, in our second iteration of UMass, we wanted to have some sort of audience involvement and more participatory mutual creation happening. And so we ended the night with an open mic series where anyone in the audience can sign up and they can perform whatever they'd like. And so we had people come up and play. They performed spoken word poetry that someone came and through their friend texting them to come over. They drove home to get their French horn and then came back and then played the French horn for all of us. And I think what was really cool to see was at the end of the night when we were all cleaning up the space in the venue, BJ Clark, the sound engineer from the IMC, Honora Hoey, and some other people kind of got up on stage and just jammed and played together with regard to improv and had a good time while everyone else was kind of just enjoying the space, checking out the last little bits of the art gallery. But kind of like you were saying about in your video where this idea of jamming as artists to create some sort of communal space is a really magical thing to happen. And so we were really happy to see that at the end of the open mic. Overall, it was a one-day event. We had 129 community attendees come through the IMC in that one-day period. Again, 17 visual artists, 3 dancers, 6 filmmakers, 8 live scheduled performances, not including the open mic, and then 5 schools represented within Champaign-Urbana. And that was also something that we wanted to see. Last year, we only had 1 or 2 schools, largely Urbana High School, being represented. And so a lot of the students tried their best to reach out to their peers within different schools to recruit artists to showcase their work. With regard to moving forward, and UMass, it kind of looks a little spotty. Overall, with regard to lessons learned, we had a lot of obstacles, or students faced a lot of obstacles in their implementation of UMass this year, and a large part of it was just staff absences. As you all know, the mental health crisis within public schools right now is very, very dire, and that's not restricted to just students, staff as well. And so last year, I also took a 1-month medical leave with regard to mental health away from school. And so that means Honora, as well as our other student leaders, were kind of left to continue organizing the grant and developing this project largely on their own. And it was a lot of work we put on them, but they also really thrived and collaborated and reached out to other staff within our building to get support. And UMass this year was just as amazing as last year, and I think it's a testament to the effectiveness of student leadership when we're able to give our trust in them to operate independently. And so that was one lesson we learned, was the powers of student leadership when left to their own devices, and also just celebrating the joy of community space again as we're coming out of a post-COVID landscape. And so with regard to future plans, me and Tyler Sims, one of the other co-sponsors of the club, he was a art teacher at the time at Urbana High School. We've both transitioned to separate spaces, and so we're not really sure what's going to happen with the Film and Media Arts Club. We definitely still have students who are interested in participating, but looking for staff sponsors currently to fill that position. But at the end of the day, whatever ends up happening, whether there's another UMass or a continuation of the club, what we really hope to happen is just that the existence of youth-curated spaces in Champaign-Urbana to continue to thrive and to continue to exist, because that was really the heart of UMass, was this student curation piece. And so, just as a final thank you to the Arts and Culture Program in the City of Urbana for placing their trust and their funding in students to be able to curate this event and celebrate with each other in our community. Are there any questions?
Any comments or questions for William?
I think it's just fabulous to see a variety of arts all together in one program, and I feel like that's fabulous.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
I think you had a great success, 129 people, that's in the IMC. I've been in, it gets a little hot in there, right?
Oh, yeah.
I guess, what were some of your biggest challenges? I know you mentioned some in the report. What were some of your biggest challenges, and how did you overcome that this time?
Sure. Yeah, like you said, the IMC definitely isn't
Oh, yeah.
a large space. One of our challenges was just trying to figure out how do we maintain some amount of safety with regard to attendees in an open space. Last year, as it was coming right out of the pandemic, as restrictions were opening up, we had our concert series outdoors in the IMC's back alley space. And this year, largely due to weather, we wanted to have it indoors. And so that was kind of hard to organize. What we did was we positioned students as COVID checkers and contact tracers at the doors, and they were the ones who were writing down people's names and emails as they came up, contact information. They came around with those fancy little clickers that they have in the libraries, where they check how many people are in at a time. And so we largely put students in charge of maintaining that space. We asked attendees if they were vaccinated to show their vaccination card, or at least a photo of, so we had an idea of how many people were vaccinated in the space. And so that was just one of our challenges. Another one was just how do we get students to submit their work. We sent out an initial call for artists towards the beginning of the semester and really didn't hear back from many people. And so we kind of scrambled and we had our students reach out to their peers in different spaces. And largely through social networks, we were able to get some other student artwork. participants involved.
Thank you.
Thank you.
With the change in staffing and the uncertainties that you have, what kind of support are some of the schools giving to the group so that they can be sustained, you know?
To the Film and
without
Media
this-
Arts Club group?
Yes, yeah.
That's a great question that unfortunately there really isn't. Unfortunately, without a staff sponsor, the club can't formally meet and convene in the school space. And the problem that we're facing now is that towards the end of the year, we tried our best, me and Tyler, to reach out to different staff within Urbana High School and try to find another sponsor to organize and sponsor the club. But unfortunately, there's a lot of restrictions on not all the clubs are paid sponsored positions, and so it would largely be volunteer-based. And teachers right now, on the whole, on average, are very overtasked and overwhelmed. And so trying to find a staff sponsor to sponsor the club we still haven't been able to find one. And administration is working on so many different, they're spread so thin where trying to find a sponsor for one club isn't necessarily on their to-do list. And so it's really sad, but unfortunately there isn't a whole lot of support that we're giving students right now.
Is it possible to use the IMC as a location for the students? Because you said earlier that the students it's very much student-directed. Is it
Mhm.
possible to use a community space like the IMC as a space that could be of support and ongoing support?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, so currently I'm working with Sharon Irish. She's actually the mother of Miriam Larson, the executive director of the IMC. We're working on something called the Regeneration Fund, where it's an effort to provide funding and creative activism work in the hands of students. And so we're using the IMC and some other different spaces for a place for students to convene. And so the IMC will continue to be a space where students can interact. With regard to the Film and Media Club specifically, I'm not too sure, but the Film and Media Arts Club has existed for about 2 years now. And what's been really cool is that students outside of UMass, which was like our club's culminating event, were in charge of figuring out how to meet and communicate with each other to go out on shooting projects. And so a lot of them use Discord as their main method of communication. And so a lot of our filmmakers in the school are connected through that, where they can continue to contact one another. They lean on different actors and actresses in the theater program to act in their films. And so it's running on a very informal, underground basis, but nothing too formal.
I really love that, this being such a student-led process and, with the staffing problems, I can see a lot of people fearing that, oh no, they're going to just create chaos on their own. But what they did is the antithesis of Lord of the Flies, and that's really beautiful. Yeah. And I really would like to see a lot more things in this community that are student-led or led by young people, because when they put their minds to it, they do amazing things, and sometimes we just got to step out of their way. So I'm so sorry for the staffing problems, and having worked in the school district, I know that it is terrible. But I also think it's kind of nice that we have that silver lining that it proved that these kids really can do great stuff on their own. So that's a ray of hope there, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a common theme amongst all my students is that they're tired of being treated like kids. And as much as they are with regard to development and cognitive development, right? But I mean, they are really great at conducting themselves when they're passionate about the things that they're doing. So I second your thought.
I know, I'll just add, I love that there were 5 schools involved, that the students are looking beyond their school unit and kind of breaking out of those old Friday Night Lights competitions and looking at their whole community. And I think that's going to build relationships for them way into the future and hopefully build a stronger Champaign-Urbana.
Yeah, I definitely hope so too.
Urbana-Champaign.
Urbana-Champaign, our band, the U comes first. Yeah, in our first listening session of the Regeneration Fund, that was one of the things that students were saying, was that they love the spirit and community of Urbana, but they'd love to see more unity amongst Champaign and Urbana. And so, yeah, I definitely do hope that collaboration experience continues.
Yeah, you should really be proud of the way this all came together, and I second all of the comments about more programming that's led by youth, and I really think that it's pretty amazing to have that many different artists all together from different schools, and I think it shows how well thought out the whole program was. So really good job.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thanks, William. And I think we're going to have a staff report from Stephanie.
Thank you for your patience with me. I am not Rachel Crane. Rachel Storm, I know a Rachel Crane. So we are doing our best to keep things going until we can get that position filled. And so we're monitoring a lot, keeping track, so I want to keep you guys informed and with all that we can. So we do have every intention of replacing an arts person in the city. We are using a little bit of time, and we have to look at everything to see if there's potentially any changes that we want to make. But we hope to be posting a position soon, and I will be sure to email you all when that comes out, and we'll be promoting it on social media. I would like to have that person hired tomorrow. I will just say that. We're working on it. Our HR will be working on it. So in many ways, we're government, so things don't go as fast as I would always like them to go. But that is in the works, and we're talking about it quite a bit. So we'll keep you posted, but it is going to happen. We believe that arts in Urbana is a priority, and that position is definitely a priority for us in community development. So we have hired as a temporary employee Heather Ann Lehman. I don't know if many of you met her. She's got incredible organizational and administrative skills. So she's just helping me out with keeping payments going to artists and vendors, doing a little bit of social media for us, and kind of helping me on the back end keep track of some of the administrative things that we need help with. You may have seen on social media, we are definitely going to be moving forward with arts grants this year. We sat down with a couple of our community partners to ask them what programs they loved. Was there anything we should not be doing? Everybody wholeheartedly said, please continue the arts grants. They think that's an incredible program, how it supports all levels of artists, and we will definitely be continuing. Some of the feedback we heard was that a 3-month grant cycle is a little long, that a lot of applicants wait till the last minute anyway. So we're giving ourselves time to take a look at that program. So we're not going to open it October 1st. We are taking a look to see if there are maybe some administrative changes that could be made to that program, maybe not. If any of you have any interest in helping discuss those programs, that program and potential changes or what we like and don't like, please let me know after the meeting, and we'll have some side committee meetings that we can take a look at that and plan the right dates to move that program forward successfully. The Poet Laureate program, I'm going to let Sarah report on that.
Hello. So I met with Stephanie this morning, and before Rachel Storm had left the position, she basically shared files and other jury documents and program documents, social media documents, and so I'm willing to volunteer some time for continuing the Poet Laureate program, basically by opening up the application for the next Poet Laureate, and would love if anyone on the commission is interested in being in the jury or helping mentor the future Poet Laureate. It looks like timing-wise, we're going to be working on the application to be opened up starting October, and then ending applications, I think, closing maybe end of October. So we would be potentially selecting the future Poet Laureate for a 1-year cycle starting November. So I'll be keeping you all posted probably by our next meeting. But yeah, I'll be working closely with Stephanie on any updates to the website and kind of providing mentorship for the next poet laureate. The previous poet laureates, Will Rieger and Ashanti Files, have also volunteered have kind of mentioned that they'll be willing to check in and mentor the poet laureate through their cycle. So, if any of you are interested in helping support the poet laureate, I think it will be a great program to continue. And Ashanti and Will both did a lot of different community programming while it was their year as the poet laureate. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing all the work that could be done by this next one. So.
Thank you, Sarah, for helping
Yeah.
with that program. I really appreciate it. And then in regards to the Youth Poet Laureate, Sarah, Rachel, and the past poet laureates are still mentoring Denilah through her tenure, and I'm told she's working on a book, writing a book, so that's kind of her focus right now, but I'll keep you posted as we learn what she's working on as she finishes her time as Youth Poet Laureate. Rachel did a great job of putting in place several projects that are going to be rolled out over the next few months. I believe there's at least 2 utility box murals that will be installed in October, November. We work with Dean's Graphics on installing those. So as those are rolled out, we'll be setting up ribbon cuttings and doing promotion of that. So I'll keep you posted. Same with Art in Transit. I know she told you a lot about that. We're going to be having art installed on the bus station over by Urbana Free Library. And that is in the works, and again, I'll keep you posted as soon as that's installed, and we'll have a little celebration. Maybe we'll get Rachel to come back out and cut a ribbon with us. So, and she set all that up. I'm just following up, so I was very grateful. I think she told you Artist of the Quarter, which is the art here in the city building and at the library. We discontinued that here at the city while we're going to be going through some construction this year, some renovation here at the building. It will be continuing at the library. They're going to curate that. Once our construction is done and we're cleaned up, we'll start that again, probably in a year or so here. Rachel had also coordinated a mural going in on Broadway Food Hall that ECA is going to be installing. So last I heard, progress was that would be beginning soon. Do you know something about that, Sarah?
I actually just went there for lunch, and it looks like she's got outlines
Okay, great.
on the building, so that'll be good.
I
Really
had in
fun.
my notes that I needed to check on the status of that, but I knew it was coming, so. Also, as you guys well know, September is a huge month for festivals in Urbana. Many of them are arts grantees, so I included them on my report there. So if you're able to attend any of those events, feel free to post pictures. We'll try to catch them and share on our social media also. I'm going to try to grab a couple of them. And we want to have a great fall in Urbana, hopefully have some economic impact with our events coming to town. I did need to report that I've had 2 commissioners resign. I'm not going to take it personally, but Howard Shine has had to resign as commissioner. His schedule no longer allows. And then Gonzalo Pania emailed me this morning that he's taken a job out of town and has had to relocate out of Urbana. So we do have 2 commission seats available. I don't know if I'll be taking that on or letting the next arts coordinator take on filling those positions, but hopefully the rest of you will stick with us as we get through this transition. So one last thing from me, you should have received an email that the city is assigning you each city email addresses. Did you get an email from our IT department? And if not, let me know, because what I'd like to do is when you feel comfortable starting to check that, I know how it is having a new email added on, I would like to start using that for you instead of your personal email addresses, though I can do either. Mainly it's that we would probably publish on the Arts Commission website just your city email addresses as a way to protect you from spam and stuff like that. And then your Arts Commission email would come to that. So let me know if you did not receive any information about that or if you have questions about that. So actually, I think no, that was on my notes. So I can send you information about that. So I'm glad to answer any questions you have.
If we know anyone that might like to take a seat on the commission, is it too early now to send them to someone, or is it?
Please,
Can we-
have
okay.
them reach out to me, and
Okay.
the person who helps us with that within the city is out on medical leave right now, but I'm glad to gather names and information. So if you have somebody who wants to serve,
Is there a website we can send that, Liz, did we have I know there used to be a link for that, but I don't know if we currently have a link up to submit.
let me check on that and see
Okay.
if there's an actual application or if
If
Rachel
the
just.
application is still there, please just email it to me. That would be
Okay.
great.
I will do that. Thank you. Any other questions for me? Well, I appreciate y'all being here today, and don't hesitate to reach out to me on email or phone anytime. I'm glad to help out as best I can, and like I said, we're going to keep everything rolling.
Thanks,
So.
Stephanie.
Thanks.
And before we move on, I just wanted to ask if there, sir, if there's a public comment or just attending? Sounds good. Okay. Is there anything else on the agenda that I see? Okay. Well, I think we will adjourn the meeting. Thank you so much for attending. Yeah, thanks, and we'll see you next month.